She is known for her joyful wordplay, tap dance breaks, and politically incorrect comedy. Evie's first album, Verbatim, was released in 2013. Since then, Evie has toured the globe, playing everywhere from streets in London to famous bars in Seattle and even on Caribbean cruise lines. Man, I'm so jealous. She has studied opera for 12 years and enjoys bubble tea and doing good deeds in a skunk costume. She is also organizing a large-scale project to distribute and teach the homeless to play ukulele and planning a TED Talk for her created music genre, ukulele rap. Amazing. Here she is, Evie Joy. Welcome to WECS.
Hi.
How are you? How was the trip? Did you get stuck in traffic?
Not today. I didn't. It was beautiful out today.
Oh, man. Was it last week we spoke? You called in?
I believe so.
It seems like so long ago.
I know. A lot can happen in a week.
Wow. You didn't sign any big record label deals or anything like that?
I'm enjoying being independent.
You know,
I don't want to give anyone anything.
That's what this show's all about.
Yeah.
So welcome to WECS. I don't know what it was. I think I was just scrolling around YouTube or something maybe and saw my first encounter listening to your music, and it was amazing.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so lost.
Is it expiration date, you think, maybe?
It was expiration date, yeah.
That's cool.
Did you release that last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was released last November.
So give us a little background. You went through school, you studied opera.
So if you want the story, I could tell you a little bit about the story.
Give us a little background. I want to see where'd you make the leap and say, all right, I'm going to get my degree in whatever, and then I'm going to take a chance and just try to make a thing in music.
Right. So I got into many schools for, I was going to be a doctor or go to school for opera. The only teacher that I ever had was a washed-up opera singer who ended up in my hometown. And she was amazing, though. And I studied with her for years. And then I got into a school for opera that's very well known, Purchase College, for music. And while I was there, I started writing my own songs, and they kind of told me I was too distracted and that if I didn't focus, I was going to get kicked out. And then they said, stop writing your own music. You're here for opera. And then they said the walls had ears one time, and I didn't know what the hell that meant. And so
I was tapping your dorm room?
I was very depressed, actually, while I was there. And I ended up going to Italy. And while I was in Italy, I met people from Oklahoma City University, and they heard me playing a song that I had written in a little practice room kind of situation that was in the middle of the woods where we had to go practice, and they were all waiting outside, and they were like, what is that song? And I said, I wrote that. And then they said, oh my God. And they helped me and wrote letters to OCU, and I wrote letters, and I kept sending the same audition tape over and over again, kind of like incessantly, and calling, and they were like, we're not going to let you in. We let everyone in months ago. Like, school starts in a month. What are you thinking? But then the man who runs the headmaster said, don't worry, just tickle, wink, I don't know, something about my toes and like looking down at my toes and smiling and wrinkle your eyelids. It was really weird, but it was like, he was like, don't worry.
Click your heels.
And I got in. I actually got in 2 weeks before school started, and then the day that school started, I got scholarship, and I flew out 2 days later to Oklahoma, and and I never even told the other school that I wasn't coming back because I was so mad. And there's a lot of things I could tell you, but for the sake of time, I will not. I
love your persistence and your never give up attitude.
Thank
you.
And
it's proof of why you shouldn't give up.
You just don't. There's no point in giving up. You just keep going for it, and it's tenacity more than anything.
Exactly.
Usually.
Tenacity.
And then I started going to Nashville because a teacher there who used to arrange music for Oprah, his name is Lendl Black. He's amazing. He believed in my music and introduced me to people in Nashville. I started recording down there. And then I started transitioning because I was doing a lot of musical theater. I've always done musical theater. And he, as I found out, you have a lot more leeway with your own music than you do, obviously, with trying to fit someone else's existence of whatever is in their head and whatever they're envisioning for a role, which you never know. And you could wait for 10 hours in front of an audition and get up there for 15 seconds, and then they say, thank you, bye, and that's it, you're done. And then you've waited since 5 a.m. that morning, and you're just exhausted, and you're working, and So I ended up, after school, I got into a showcase for musical theater, went to the city, had an agent, went for a lot of auditions and thought, this is terrible, and continued doing my music. At first, it was really hard. I ended up taking a year off because I was so discouraged because it's pay to play a lot in New York, especially when you're starting off.
Yep.
And then as time went on, I didn't give up. And
were you doing anything on the side as you were?
So I started off as an Apple technician. When I got out, always through school, I was a computer tech because my father worked with computers, and I kind of was always afraid that I wouldn't make it, so I wanted to have a backup.
Yeah.
And so I worked for Apple when I first moved to the city overnight, 11-hour shifts, and then I'd go and audition during the day, and I was miserable. I was so unhappy. And then I took a year off. I started just experimenting with personal assistance roles. And as I worked at Apple, I had stolen clients. So as time went on, not stolen them, but they used to have one-to-one sessions. And then as time went on, they stopped having those one-to-one sessions. And then there would be these little old ladies, many of them Orthodox Jewish, that never had the chance to learn certain things about computers or technology, and they wanted to learn more, or they wanted to start their own business or do a creative project, and I started helping them, and then they introduced me to their friends, and now I completely freelance by usually Monday through Thursday. I'll freelance for different clients, and then I'll leave on the weekends or at nights, and I'll play shows.
You got it all made, I think. You're all set.
Took a long time to set it up.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself going in a few years? What, just solely music? Or do you want to get assigned to a record label? Do you want to continue to be self-made and independent?
I am not entirely sure, and I think that's the most exciting part. But I know the things that I love to do, and I'm figuring out more and more. But I really love writing, and I wouldn't mind writing music for people. I wouldn't mind doing a lot of these funny songs and doing live performances of more of them even. Yeah, it's all been fun so far, so I'm just going to keep...
You're an amazing songwriter, and
Thank you.
Maybe there's a new show or something. It's connected to The Voice or something where it's focusing on the songwriters.
Really?
And connecting them with famous performers.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah, check it out. Send in an application. Maybe they'll get on there.
Oh yeah, I will. Actually, I really will do that. That's awesome. I didn't know.
I want to hear some music though.
Okay, cool.
What are we going to hear first?
So, should I start with the song that you found me off of?
Yeah, sure. That's a good way to start.
That's a good way to start.
And you wrote this a long time ago about a bad relationship, or?
So, yeah, I was kind of fed up with a relationship at the time, though it could be about a lot of different things. And what I was thinking also was the political situation at the time was exhausting, which is why if you watch the music video, there's a lot of little red cues in it that people don't always pick up on, and a lot of symbolism. It moves very fast, but we have something against gun violence. The painting on the wall is actually a vagina. There's there's a lot of different little cues if you can find them in there. That
cool.
we
I'll be watching more closely now.
Symbolic, yeah.
I love it.
So this is Expiration Date. By the end of this refrain, I have erased your name, 'cause you won't remember me. So I'm forgetting you, baby. Darling, you've been so cold, and it is growing on like there's something you ain't told me. If you ain't feeling this, baby, you will be missed, but don't worry, I won't cry. I'll get by. I gotta let you go. Oh, no, oh, my baby. Oh, my baby. I need something more than this, more than just a midnight kiss. Oh, my baby. Oh, how tired this love's expired. This love's expired. Been so long since I was free. Thought of it is killing me. But I don't mean to make this harder than it should be, baby. I'm a rewind, leave it behind. I take every precaution that today I'm washing your memory out of my mind. Oh, another day of stepping away, wondering if I don't need your love. And it's not alright that half my brain's devoted to you, be it day or be it night. I can't let you go. Oh, no, oh, my baby. Oh, my baby. I need something more than this, more than just a midnight kiss. Oh, my baby. Oh, heart's hard. This love's expired. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Wow. That is so genuine and real and so much different than
the recording.
I mean, the recording's cool and it's like, produced and well done and something you could see on MTV if they had music videos. But I love it, the kind of toned down and unplugged version is amazing. And that's one of the cool things about doing like a house concert, which you're doing tonight, right?
I did last night, actually.
Last night, okay.
But tonight is going to be like a little tiny venue kind of thing. It'll be, it's a secret little private thing. But it'll be fun.
Not open to the public?
In New York. No, I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you.
Oh, you're heading back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. How was the stomping ground?
So I didn't go. I got sick.
Oh, no.
I know. I got sick and I canceled it, and I was very upset about it, but he said he'll have me back, no problem. And I made sure. I would have been there if I was sick. Even if I was sick, I would have been there, but he had somebody lined up. And he said, don't worry about it. Don't be sick.
Have you played there before?
So, no, that was my first
time.
It
is the coolest
It's a cool place, right? That's what
it.
Everybody says. I know.
I was almost, if it wasn't a Wednesday, I definitely would have come out and
Wednesdays are hard.
Yeah.
Wednesdays are
especially
very
when I'm
hard.
way up in Massachusetts, over in the Berkshires area.
Yeah. I understand. Oh, my goodness, the Berkshire. That's beautiful, though.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But so is Eastern Connecticut.
It's
got its own twist
driving
on it.
down these little roads and these farms. I was like, oh, gosh, it reminds me of growing up, because I lived on a farm growing up.
So what kind of farm would you have? Produce or animals? Or?
Well, we had like huge fields of corn, first of all. Second, we had like a big garden of all different things, all sorts of fruit trees growing up, like big raspberry bush, like a grove that we would go through, and there'd be snakes sometimes. No pineapples there. I know. And then we had cows and sheep and pigs until they ran away, and chickens, yeah.
I love it. You're homegrown and you're local, and I was shocked to find that out.
Oh, thanks.
Your music's not limited to just the kind of kitschy, humorous songs, which when I first heard you, I figured that's...
I'm going to do 3 examples. Yeah, I'll show you. That's the jazzy part. I'm going to show you a more folky song, and then I'll do the comedic one at the end. Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised to find out that you're a great jazz singer as well, and then opera.
So that's what I did right after school, was I did a lot of jazz, because in Oklahoma City there's a jazz scene, and then I played jazz shows actually all across. I had a pianist that I played with. His name is Christian Pearson. He's still there, and he's amazing. And we played together shows along the road, and then we played while we were down there. And then in New York, I sing jazz all the time, actually, because the restaurants want jazz, and I have a full band of 4 and then a band of 8 as well, and we do different gigs. Wow. We played for Sheryl Crow 2 weeks ago.
That's amazing.
Yep.
How was that? Was it cool?
It was very cool, yeah.
Man.
Yep.
You're just like a gem. I just can't believe you're here in our studio.
Thanks, Mark.
Do you see yourself continuing to pursue your own path, or what would you like to do? Something more mainstream? I was listening to your verbatim, and it was like listening to a lot of similarities, and it brought up images of Sarah Bareilles, and
I love her. Yeah,
she's amazing. Yeah,
she's fantastic.
I mean, could you see yourself kind of doing something more mainstream like her?
Yeah, absolutely. When I saw her show live too, I thought it was amazing. And then she's written musicals. Like eventually, I do want to go back to Broadway. Eventually, but I don't want to do it their way.
Aha.
I'm sorry. I'm just very stubborn
at the end
of the day.
That's what makes you so amazing.
Or I'll write my own and then I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would love to write for Pixar someday. I don't know how that would work out, but I am an excellent writer first. And then the music was always separate as well. It was music or it was writing. They just came together recently, I would say, in the last since I started college.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted. I'm at a loss for words. Oh. Even though I have a bunch of questions to ask you, I'm just, wow. I think 10 years from now, I'm going to be turning on the TV or something, and I'm going to be like, Evie Joy's got this new musical or Pixar movie coming out, and it's like, wow. Why did you want to study opera in the beginning?
Well, it was we had the only singing teacher we had in our town was the opera singer. That was it. And my mom brought me there when I was 10 and a half, almost 11 years old. And she, the opera teacher, asked me, she said, which singing style do you like better? And she sang opera for me, and then she sang me pop. And I said, oh, I hate the opera. I said, I never want to sing like that ever. I told her that I loved the pop style. I said, that's gorgeous. Like, your voice is great. And then she told my mom, I cannot teach this girl. I can't teach her. And my mom said, you will teach her because there's nobody else, and we'll pay you extra or whatever. I don't know. And then I did those lessons, and then I stayed with opera because I got very good at it. And it's amazing. Like, I respect it so much. You have to learn the language. You have to learn the pronunciation. You have to learn every time you get an opera score, say it's 3 hours long, right? You go through, you not only mark down, there's a system to it that I love, the formula. You have to write down the IPA, which is the pronunciation, and then you have to write down the translation, and then you have to write down contextually what you're thinking about while you're saying these things. And many times you're repeating things over and over again. You have to write your blocking so that every time you say this, it has a different intention that you're, and there's something about all of that that keeps you so, and you don't have a microphone. You're singing over an orchestra to a huge room, which is acoustically hopefully set up to help you, yes. But sometimes you're not, depending on what churches you're performing in. If you are in a church, it's amazing. And you have to have that breath control, and it's all so invigorating, and it's dying. It's very sad.
That's a lot of multitasking there.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And when you're going to school and learning opera, did you have trouble focusing on the lessons, or?
Yeah. I'm very ADD. So I would be in the rooms, and they didn't, at my first school, this was a big problem, was there wasn't enough padding in the walls, so I could hear the people playing or practicing next to me, pianists, trumpet players, jazz, whatever it was, and I would be listening to it because I can't help it. If I hear sound, I can't not focus on the sound. There's no part of me that can control that. Yep. So, and then she'd get frustrated. She'd be like, "Are you paying attention?" I'd be like, "I'm trying," and then, yeah. And it would be very bad.
And yet you can do all the things you just did with the opera score, sheet, whatever. And
oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I can focus. It's just...
multitasking.
In a silent mode.
Is your brain working so fast it's got to be overloaded to operate properly? Or
well, that's the thing with ADD. That's the people with ADD. You need to have, or ADHD, you have to have that stimulus. You have too many receptors, right? So you have to have... There's enough for you to have the stimulus. And if you don't, you start to wander and look for more things to focus on. So the more, the better almost sometimes, Yeah. I deal very well in pressured situations. It's after that I kind of am not the best.
I know when I was in school, I used to, to study. I couldn't just do it at the house where it's quiet. I had to go to a coffee shop or something where there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, for me, it's a little different because the sound is very distracting for me, but I can do it in quiet for sure. But yeah, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I would be listening to a ball game or some music while.
Yeah.
Oh man,
some people doodle while they, and that helps.
Yeah, like at work, I know when we have meetings and stuff, there's some people that are always doodling. I'm like, are you paying attention?
Yeah.
But it works for them.
It works.
Yeah.
It helps. Yeah.
What song you want to do next?
I'm going to do a song called Happy.
Oh, I haven't heard
and
this
it's
one yet.
sarcastic. It's coming out soon.
I was going to say, you got an album coming out, right?
I'm sitting on 3 singles, and I want to have actually way more than that. But the 3 are from Nashville, and then I have a couple others that I'm in production right now. And I'm just going to start releasing things without videos, I think, because it's a little bit too hard to always. The last video, if you want to know the truth, and it was a low budget production, cost about $12,000.
Wow.
And that was all self-funded, you know, like, and it was so much work, and I designed it, but I had a lot of help, and like the people that helped me, I could not have done it without them at all.
It's something you can't do on your own.
Yeah. And you'll see them in the credits. But honestly, like, we have a new video that's coming out, and it's gonna be really cool. And then I'm not gonna do that song for you today, unfortunately, but it'll be very.
Is that about the priest?
No. Though that one is also coming out, and that video is in production. That's a live performance video that's going to be coming out soon.
Awesome. There's so many videos.
So many things to come out.
Evie Joy, EvieJoyMusic.com.
And EVIE, Joy Music.
EVIE. All right, so let's hear Happy.
This is about if you've ever had that bittersweet feeling where you're going to something better, but you're a little bit sad about what you're leaving behind because you've gotten attached to it. I'm so happy that you're gone. I'm so happy 'cause I know that this is how it's supposed to be. For you and me. And I'm so glad you were on true. I'm so glad just to be one instead of two, because I know the love I felt cannot make up for what you put me through. I know I feel it, can't pretend that I had wanted it to end. I act like baby, someday I won't see your face and passers by and want to cry. And maybe, baby, someday I won't breathe the scent of cigarettes, and I'll be able to forget. Someday soon I'll take my heart back, just for me, maybe. And I'm just thrilled to be alone. I adore hanging out all on my own, because I know that I can't disappoint myself when I'm not the one changing. So it's perfect that you didn't change my mind. It's great that you just didn't waste my time, 'cause I might take you for more than you are. We both know that love is blind. I know I feel it, can't pretend that I had wanted it to end. I act like baby, someday I won't see your face and passers by and want to cry. And maybe, baby, I won't breathe the scent of cigarettes, and I'll be able to forget. Maybe, baby, I will hear Bohemian Rhapsody and forget how we sang through the streets of Queens. And maybe, baby, I won't think of every word you've ever said and wonder what it means. Someday soon I'll take my heart back. Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
Amazing. It makes me happy to listen to you sing. And wow. Does that give you a kind of inner peace and joy to know that you're making people happy through what you do, what you chose to do in your life?
Yeah, well, when you play at bars and, like, nobody really pays attention and then they walk in and out, it's just kind of like, But then, you know, like last night...
Those days are in the past.
Yeah.
Right?
When I played at the house concert last night, for example, there was a woman there who had turned 70 that day, and I just, like, kept kind of making jokes with her and, like, singing songs with her, and she loved it and came up to me after and told me, and that meant the world to me, you know? Like, that means everything.
That's awesome.
Because the music is for me to heal, so if it can help someone else heal, then that's obviously the goal.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing that you can do that, and it helps people indeed. Songs of relationship, I think we talked about before. Maybe not. Can often be funny.
Yeah.
And you kind of exploit that humor.
So, like, there are a lot of dark things in life, and for me, the humor has always been the way to handle everything that sucks.
That's okay.
You can turn it into a brighter side. So if I think of myself, and most recently I've been like realizing this is like I have like a dark side and a light side, but there's the dark side that where everything kind of came from and why the music was such a necessity for me.
Helps to keep you from going into the dark side?
Yeah, going into the dark emotions that I have from things that happened when I was younger. And then but the music was always how I healed. And my voice, honestly, like I felt like singing would be what comforted me when I needed it.
And so it kind of ties in with what we were just talking about, making people happy through your music. Mm-hmm. There's also you help people out randomly on the street, right? Dressed as a skunk.
Oh, I love costumes. I think costumes are hilarious.
What chose you why'd you choose the skunk costume?
I think it was the funniest one. Oh, no, I know why. I sang for my senior recital, I sang Memory from Cats, but instead I dressed up like a skunk and I sang Memory and I had a bunch of props on stage, and then during the part where I'm supposed to, there's like that musical interlude, I just said random French words. I was like, sacre bleu. Croissant, like just like everybody was laughing. The problem was at that time I was also laughing, like so I was dying. Everyone was crying by the end of the show, and I just like kind of like wearing the skunk costume, and it was very funny. It was so good. And then the skunk costume, I took it with me to New York, and then my friend was like, "What do you have this for?" And I was like, "Well, let's find out."
Might as well get more use out of it, right?
Yeah.
Do you like kind of doing stuff like kind of on the street randomly and surprising people?
Yeah.
See what the reaction is?
I love random acts of kindness. Yeah. So I used to have a little book with compliments, and I would just hand them to people randomly. Mm-hmm. And then I love to give people random compliments all the time whenever I can, or just connect with people, because you'd be so surprised about like what you can learn from everybody else.
Absolutely.
You don't even know, you know? Yeah. I love to talk to everybody.
That's
and
cool.
I love to help them when I see anyone who needs help. You know, you have to be careful a little bit because sometimes people get mad at you in New York. But but not usually, honestly. And most of the time, you can get away with a lot, and you can really help people a lot.
So you're a compassionate person?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. You're doing a 100-day challenge?
Yeah.
Is it tied to music?
It failed.
No,
I stopped.
You stopped?
I just stopped. I got sick. I got tired. I was like, I can't do this. I'm a perfectionist, so everything.
Unless you can do
I'm my worst enemy.
Just right.
I'll record those little things for 30 minutes, and I'll be like, that one part. Let's just do it again. And I'll be sitting there driving myself crazy in my kitchen, and I have my business, as you know, and then everything else, and then booking my own shows and trying. And I have a manager who helps me now, but it's still so much to keep up with. And then I was like, fuck it.
I don't know how you do it. It's so much. You're promoting yourself. You're working your day job. You're doing your night job, having a good time. Yeah. You get to travel a lot?
Oh, yeah, a lot. I was just in Miami.
Wow.
I flew back yesterday morning.
Yikes.
Yep.
Have you been to New Orleans?
No. I need to go, though.
You do?
I wanted to go for Jazz Fest. It didn't work out. I had too many shows. But hopefully soon. There's other festivals that are honestly, I think, a little bit better to go during that time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go and check it out.
There's Voodoo Fest in September. There's every
I
week.
want to
There's
go. I want to
something
take a
going on.
midnight train across the U.S. and just go. I think that would be so
I
fun.
took a train down to New Orleans.
Did you really?
It's the
Did you
city of
sleep
New
in
Orleans.
in a little
yeah.
coach, you had a bed and everything?
No, that's too expensive. It's like more expensive
It's
than a hotel.
It's like $1,000.
But it's cool riding across the country on a train. You get to see things rather than just flying over it.
I know.
Oh man, it was like 31 hours though from here.
That Wes Anderson film
What?
about the train.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what made me want to
Isn't
do
he
it.
a horror guy, Wes Anderson?
Wes?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No, he's amazing. You have to watch. I'm not going to say anything.
What's it called?
Anything.
Oh, anything.
Start with
then.
Isle of Dogs. Because that was the most fun recently. Honestly, I loved the nuances. You'll get a good style. He's got a style. You've got to watch it. You'll understand
when you people
watch it.
with style.
You
Like
gotta
Quentin
watch it.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
That's my style.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino's pretty great.
And he's only got one film left to make.
He's going to swing off this building by someone else's intestines. That's cool.
Yeah, that's happy. You wrote a song, a short song for the Vertically Challenged.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the millennials version of, who was it? Paul Williams wrote a song back in the 70s about short people.
Is that the one that short people have no reason to live?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like that one.
No?
Mine's better.
It is better.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We have a lot of reasons to live. Who else is going to get the stuff on the bottom shelf? Who's going to take those lockers?
You use...
Who is going to be your armrest?
I don't know. Everybody's got a purpose. So
That's what
you
I'm
look on the
saying.
positive side. I love
Yeah.
that.
Volleyball, really good at that. I'm the one that goes underneath everybody's legs.
And you save the day when the people think they missed the ball and the game's over. You come
There
in,
I am,
slide in.
sliding from the back
There you go.
with burns all over my skin because I've sacrificed.
But it's worth it.
But it's worth it.
You saved the day.
Yeah.
That's an awesome song. So you submitted that for NPR
Tiny
Desk concert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever call you on that?
No, but I've met Bob Boylan. I actually went when he went to Boston once. I just took a bus out of the blue and just went down and talked with him and everything.
Wow.
So that's one of my goals right now. I want to get on to do a little Tiny Desk concert.
That would be a good push because a lot of people watch that stuff. Verbatim. I love that song too.
Yeah.
I think it highlights, how intellectual you are and clever in your writing, and it's so cool. Do you consider yourself a sapiosexual?
Oh, I'm attracted to knowledge.
Or
Is
to
that what that
people,
means?
to intelligence, yeah.
Absolutely.
That was like a thing I used to see on
I'm
the
not
dating
attracted
sites.
to people who are just...
No.
Not at all. At all. I'm attracted, and humor to me is a very good indicator of intelligence. Honestly. So when I meet people who are really funny, they're usually really smart, and that's very attractive to me. Yeah.
That's another thing I've seen on
That's interesting. I've never thought that before ever.
No.
That's a good question.
Verbatim. When did you write that? When you were you looked very young in that video.
Sophomore in college. Yeah, I'd actually been writing it for a year. I got my first Mac because my family was very PC oriented until I became a sophomore, and someone just gave it to me. They were like, "I can't make it work. You can just have it." I fixed it, and it was so slow, and it would shut off in between my projects, so I'd have to save every 2 seconds. But I wrote, and I did all the harmonies, and I was like, "This is so cool!" And I was sitting in the practice room for till 2 a.m. every night, and then I would work on it, and then I needed the rap, and I sat myself in a room and locked the door and wouldn't let myself out till I finished it, and then I wrote it.
Wow.
And that's where that rap came from. So that was fun.
I love it. And
I didn't want the video to be that way, though. I got to be honest.
No?
That was more of a cultural pop thing. I wanted it to be in a library, and I would be in the library.
Perfect setting, yeah.
With a stack of books. The librarian has to keep shushing me, and then all of a sudden everybody's involved, and we're all dancing and swinging off the shelves, and
You can do a remake.
I'm going to someday.
You were in some kind of Victorian house or something. It was very frilly and
we made
pretty.
the whole set. My cousin sponsored it. Cristobal Vallecillos did the video, who's a very talented artist all around the world. He does work. He's from Venezuela, I think, originally. And it was awesome. We had 3 different sets. We were in a studio making the sets in the background, everybody, and I had like makeup art. It was amazing. It was very cool. Yeah, I couldn't have never done it without my cousin. He's a very big supporter of the arts.
Man. Who would you open for or collaborate with if you had a chance?
Who would I?
Yeah.
Well, definitely. I mean, Sarah Bareilles is amazing. She's amazing. I really love her. And then, honestly, right now, I'm obsessed with Billie Eilish.
Oh, who isn't?
She's fantastic.
She's just like on the charts. I mean, she's like everywhere. Everybody's talking about her. All different genres, pop music.
She's not doing it on her own, for sure.
Yeah.
But she's a genius, without a doubt. Her music is, her lyrics, her lyric content, like... And then the gender neutrality that she's trying to push, it's amazing. Everything she's, and then the way she, when she, basically, if you listen to one of the songs, like the choral elements from her backgrounds, and the way she mixes all those harmonies, but also I don't know who's doing these arrangements. It can't be her alone, right? But like they're fabulous, the electronic, and some of them are so sparse and they're so well balanced. I've got to tell you, I'm a little bit on the spectrum, and there are certain times where like sound just feels good. When you listen to her songs and they always sound good. Everything is rounded. I don't know how to explain that any other way, but when I turn it all the way up, I feel great. The bass tones, like it just washes over you. And it's so sparse, like that Bad Guy song. It's literally just that bass beat, the little electronic. I'm floored by it, honestly. If you can't tell, I'm obsessed. I am.
I'm going to look at her in a new light now.
I don't really like pop music, and I think it's genius. Everything.
She is good. And 17?
Well, her first song was 15, but now she's 17.
Wow. Amazing. So I think I've noticed a lot lately, there's like a trend where a lot of young people are getting into music. And I think it's breathing some life into, because I'd say over the past 10 years, music's been kind of boring.
Yeah.
Nothing new, nothing innovative really, but now like people like Billie Eilish and Lorde and other people are starting to change things up, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start wrapping things up because you got to get going. You got to perform tonight. So
your show doesn't last forever though.
No. I'm out of here. So you did the house show last night. You've got an open mic coming up in Bethel on the 23rd. No.
So tomorrow is actually a comedy show in Bethel, Connecticut at the Note Kitchen and Bar. And that's just an interactive comedy night. I do it with my friend Steph Stratton, who writes, oh God, her songs are way worse, honestly. They're the best, but they are so inappropriate, and I love them. They're fantastic. She just takes something and takes a spin on it.
Wow.
She has a song about Helen Keller. And so that's one of my favorites, and it's literally, I think it's only 30 seconds long, and the chorus is just vowels, and it's very funny.
And you're going to be at Strange Brew in Norwich on the 23rd.
Yes, that's this Thursday.
Awesome. I don't know how you do it.
9:30.
You're
to
here.
11,
You're there. You're everywhere.
9 to 11:30. Yeah.
Worcester and New York and
all over.
Miami. You're everywhere.
New England. Yeah, you got to have a car.
And a friend to help drive you so you can relax.
And a great roadie.
Did I ask you about comfort food last time?
No.
I usually ask everybody, but I know we were rushed last time. So you're all over the place everywhere. Is there a place you look forward to traveling to because you know there's a local dive or a place where you can find your favorite comfort food?
Oh, man. I mean, honestly, my comfort food is bubble tea. Anywhere I can find a bubble tea, I will try it. I will try it, and I will not necessarily like it.
I didn't know what that was at first until someone recently told me.
Oh, my gosh, I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed since I went to school in Oklahoma, and I was walking around really lonely by myself. I found a little bubble tea place on top of an Asian supermarket. And I went there every day after that. And there's a place right down the road from where I live in Astoria. And that's the best bubble tea you'll ever get, honestly.
What is it? Is it just like regular tea with tapioca?
Regular tea.
Green
Excuse
tea?
me. It has to be well brewed green tea. The flavors have to all be there. And then you'll mix a syrup in. I prefer strawberry, but everyone has their own thing. You could add milk to it if you wanted. And then the boba themselves are these little tapioca pearls, like if you've ever had tapioca pudding. Yep. They're made out of sweet potato starch, and they're chewy. And the combination, oh my gosh, it's just the best.
So it's more not just flavor, it's about texture.
Oh, the texture. Yeah, that's what it is. I think you chew them. It's like gummy bears in your drink, but they're not too chewy. They're just
sweet, usually?
Yeah, but I get my tea less sweet so that the balls balance the tea.
There you go.
Yeah.
You are so cool. Amazing. I love it. So let's do one more song and we'll wrap this up.
All right. Well, this is the short song that I'm going to do for you.
I love the short song.
So this song is for all my shorties. Teeny, tiny, little itty bitty, skinny, mini, super short is what they call me. Baby doll. And I'm just under that 5-foot mark on normal days. Except when I am taller, like when I'm in high heels or a tree in the park. I'm your sitting height when I stand, otherwise below diaphragm. On every man, except my dad. Genetics. It goes without saying, I can never reach anything. Especially at the grocery store, where I have to climb the shelves or throw things strategically from the floor. So it's pitiful when people try to hug me. Yeah, it's pitiful when I'm stuck in a crowd. It's pitiful when people reach above me. But I'm not changing, so it's settled. You're gonna have to get on my level. Verse 2. Seeing over a steering wheel is easier with some books beneath, but then it sucks because I can't reach the pedals. So it's a catch-22. And the High School Musical was hard for me when the roles were cast on height, and for the show to look all right, I had ruby red stilettos and then got hit by a house. Theater malfunction. It never got away with tall tales, and I'd be poor at door-to-door sales, 'cause I'm always below the peephole. I have a vengeance with house designers who overestimate bathroom mirrors, and when my roommates move the shower head, I get seriously frustrated. Obviously, I can't reach that. And it's pitiful when I go to an apple orchard. Yeah, it's pitiful when the kids section's out of stock. Yeah, it's pitiful when I'm always below the orders. I'm allergic to dairy, and sometimes I reach for the wrong things. And once it's in my hand, I eat it. Confession session. I lied when I got my license, set 5 feet, just in case. When I carry my guitar, most people think it's a bass. Some collect dead bugs and auto tools, but I have way too many, wait for it, step stools. Hanging up pictures is even sadder when I can hardly reach the first rung of the ladder. I'm afraid of playing hide and seek because I fall asleep in small holes before they find me. I always broke my nose playing Red Rover, and my view of every show includes somebody's shoulder. Have to part my hair perfect, because people look down, and in the kiddie pool it's still hard not to drown. My feet don't touch the floor in every chair I sit on. Except for this one. And I've lost every dunk contest against LeBron. How many short people does it take to change a light bulb? Only 2 if you have a trampoline. And it's pitiful when theme park rides turn me away. It's pitiful when everybody thinks I'm 12. I'm 26. It's pitiful whenever I ride on the subway. For God's sakes, could you all just put your arms down? Or wear something. But I'm not growing, the steroids aren't working, so it's settled. You're gonna have to get on my level.
So amazing.
Thank you.
Evie Joy, that was the short song. Short and sweet. It lasted a while, though.
Yeah.
Filled with so much goodness.
It's so that I can fit it into a little 5-minute comedic set with a little interlude about how short I am.
But you look on the positive side. There's so many good aspects, too. Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I would rather be short.
What are the benefits?
I'd love an inch, though, so I could spread it out. I can't eat as much as you can, and I have an unending appetite.
There you go. What do you want? We're going to make these last remaining questions really quick and simple.
What do I want?
Yeah, what do you want?
In life?
Yeah, whatever.
I want...
First thing that comes to mind.
Freedom. Freedom. But also, I don't think it's bad to want money to make the social changes that I want to make and to be able to do the kinds of things that I want to do that are a little bit more challenging without it. So I'm not saying that I want money, because obviously that's not exactly what I want, but I do want to make large changes. And right now, when you're working a job and trying to do, you can't do everything that you want to do and make the changes that you want to do and have time to write the things that you want to do. So I don't have freedom in the end because I am belabored to a sort of system to make my life function.
So to be more specific, you want the means?
Yeah.
Because money can help.
Money can
be
help
a means or
be a means.
Lead to the means.
But if I don't need it necessarily if I found somebody that I could partner with who, like that we could do it together. You know what I mean? I don't really know. At the end of the day, I want to help people.
What if you had an angel investor?
Yeah.
And then you could help people?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be very cool.
If there's any angel investors listening right now, I would put some money into this. I would put some stock into Evie Joy. I believe her.
Thank you.
I believe in you.
Eventually I want to make a large scale, a better system for the foster system because it's struggling right now, especially with the opiate crisis around the world, around the U.S. Specifically.
This is foster month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know, what is your connection to foster?
I just really love kids.
Kids are awesome.
Yeah.
What would you do over?
In my life?
Yeah, whatever.
Nothing.
Take a left turn instead of the right turn, or
nothing?
No. What would you do again?
I would do college again.
Fun times?
Well, I think I could learn more. I love learning.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's an awesome environment to be in. I was very blessed to get to go to college, so... I'm very appreciative for that.
You worked hard to get there, too.
Yeah.
Greatest guilty pleasure?
The bubble tea. But that's not a guilty pleasure, I guess. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes I'll just put on Netflix. I don't like that I watch TV as much as I do, but sometimes, and lately I haven't had time, honestly, at all. But
do you feel like you're wasting your time, or?
I'm not good at just sitting idly, but sometimes... I need to, and that's the only way. I want to read more, though, in place of that.
There you go.
So, honestly, yeah, I don't like that about myself at all, so it's my personal guilt.
Mm-hmm. But you probably
Not
learn...
that fun of an answer, though. Because a lot of people do that.
It's kind of watching TV and Netflix kind of does give you ideas sometimes for things that you do.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm bad about cultural cues and names. Sometimes people will say things at me and I don't know them because I just don't care. But if I watched more relevant things, I think I would know more. And sometimes I don't for that reason. So,
Game of Thrones?
No.
You're like the only person who doesn't watch that.
I don't want to fill my life with the depression of that. I don't want that in my life. That's very sad. It made me upset. In the beginning. So I don't want it. I don't have room for that.
I like that. I like you know what you want, and you're not going to waste your time.
Absolutely.
Evie, thank you so much for coming down. You are amazing. And wow. Any other time you want to stop by, I'll be keeping an eye on your page and telling everybody where you are and when you're in the area.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming down. Is there one more song we can play from Verbatim? I haven't played Verbatim yet.
Verbatim.
All right. So we will play Verbatim.
Go to my website.
When I come back to play a public service announcement. Evie, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mark.
And tune in to watch Evie Joy every chance you get. We'll be back.